How are you?
Good morning.
It is.
So, my wife and I lost a pet of ours that we had for many, many years, and about a year ago, and we're trying to track a new one. And I was wondering, maybe you could give me some insight on that.
Yeah, go anywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Go to the pet store, go to the Humane Society, drive down just about any street.
Yeah.
They're all wagging their tails all over this town, all over the place.
Okay.
So why does our response feel flippant and uninformed to you? Because you want to attract the perfect pet? You want to attract the same one back again? What's the hang up here?
My wife would like to attract the same one back again, but I like animals. Just want it to be the right one. It caused a lot of pain with the departure, and so just don't want to go through that again too soon.
Well, the thing that's most important to say about this is that you have to ask yourself, you see, if you're really in, this is what we really want to say to you. If you've decided that you want this and you're in complete alignment with it, the path is just under your feet, and there it is, and it's done. And if it's not unfolding like that, then there's all this feeling of efforting. Got to get it right. Got to compensate for what happened. Don't want to make the same mistake again. Don't want heartbreak again. And so if there's that going on in your vibration, and there is, and it's all right, but if there's that going on in your vibration, you can't get there from there.
Right.
In other words, there are just not enough behaviors to compensate for that. You have to get to the core of that first, you see. So what is it? Now, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about what we were talking about earlier. So we'll speak from your perspective, not your wife's. I want to find the perfect pet. Well, there's a wobble in the word perfect already, because what that's saying is, I want to find a pet that's healthy. I want to find a pet that will live long. I want to find a pet that's not crazy in traffic. I want to find a pet. I want to find. So you're wobbling right away. But if you let yourself run with that a little bit, I want to find a pet. I want a long relationship with this pet. Almost in the moment that you start thinking about that, you think about the things that kept that from continuing with the pet that you have. So there's wobble in it all over the place. We're going to make a very bold statement here, and we want you to contemplate it just for a little bit. You cannot, under those conditions, conjure enough positive thoughts to make any real difference, because the wobble is so significant in your vibration. So as you move forward, that's why you're wise enough not to move forward. That's why our flippancy really does stand out, because of course, if it was that simple, you would have replaced that pet long ago. But the reason you haven't replaced that pet long ago is because it keeps not feeling right. And the reason that it keeps not feeling right is because you're trying to deal with the wobble way out here, where the conditions are so extreme that you can't reconcile them. In other words, that's why the pain not only happened then, but it still continues, because you're still thinking the thoughts that are keeping the wobble in motion. You see what we're getting at?
Yeah.
So the answer to this, whether you're talking about something like this or anything else in the world that you want, you've got to get that down to a less wobbling place. We've been saying to you, make it less specific and more general. Well, more general, the most general of your awareness of vibration. Stay with us just a little bit. You know how when a thought gets rolling, you've had the experience where you've been off on a tangent, let's say positive or negative, doesn't matter. Let's say negative, you'll relate better. And you're having dinner with somebody and you mention something and they mention something and then you mention something. Pretty soon you're off on this tangent where now you're doing research about it. And so you know how it sort of takes on a life of its own and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, that's specific. That's because the specifics are more active and it's out there in a stronger, discordant, vibrational state of being, and you feel it strongly. So now we've been talking to you for a while about becoming more general, more general, more general, more general. Because the more general you are, the less wobble. And today, have you heard us say that before? You've been listening to us? Do you know what we're talking about? About there's less discord when you're speaking generally than when you're speaking specifically. We'll come back around and make sure that you've got that many times before this day is done, because it's central to the ease that you are about to experience in creating. So, at the most general place in your being are what we are calling emotions. So, it's much easier for you to stop the wobble at an emotional place than out there on the edge where all of the details and all of the statistics and all of the reality and all of the memories and all is moving so fast. So we want to just ask you some questions. When you think about your relationship with this pet, what singular emotional word comes to your mind?
Love.
So, really an easy to love. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, just natural flows.
So, the dog wasn't demanding, didn't hold grudges, not passive aggressive. No long memory, didn't ask you to remember where it had been. Didn't really even get involved in one conversation about what's next. Just living in the moment, just emitting love. And so would you say that your primary relationship with this dog, your primary communicative relationship with this dog, was just one of emotional communication? You just loved each other.
True.
So, and can you feel how in this conversation right here and now, there's no wobble? So now let's say, for whatever reason, you got out there on a conversation about the absence of the dog and about the struggle of replacing the dog and about all of that. And so now, what emotion would you say you've discovered? What is the dominant emotion that the two of you commonly feel about the dog?
Absence.
And in that absence, there's a loneliness, a missing, a mourning, a yearning. Give us an emotional word a pain, a sadness.
Yes, sadness.
Sadness. So now, try to disregard all of the conversation about the dog being gone and and let's just focus on these two emotions. There's the emotion of sadness and there's the emotion of love. Which one do you prefer?
Well, love.
And we know that really feels like a silly question, but it isn't silly because if you can disregard the conditions, the absence of the dog, or the not yet replacing of the dog, or the not yet having fallen in love with a new dog, or all of that brings all of that feeling of struggle, which just keeps you in a sort of vibrational upheaval. If you can just temporarily suspend all of that and be unconditional in your love and just focus emotionally on whether you choose sad or love, it's a pretty easy decision, isn't it?
Yes.
And so now, just transport yourself to the love that you feel for that dog That dog didn't go anywhere. That dog still is love. That dog's love is still available to you. That dog's love is still flowing to you. You still have the ability to feel that love. That dog's love is more present in your experience now than it has ever been. But you are letting the conditions of its physical absence cause you to disallow your, in this moment, awareness of that love. You getting that? Now, we love that you're getting that. Sometimes humans think, oh yeah, that's just Abraham again, trying to get us to give up on what hasn't happened yet and just be happy with what is. That's not what's going on here. What's going on here is that you have the ability to feel unconditional love if you'll get the condition out of it for a minute and just choose between love and sadness. Which do you pick? Love and sadness, which do you pick? Until you feel, you channel, you flow the essence of that. And then you know what happens? An animal of the same precise frequency is on your path. And when you see it, you don't say, is it you? You don't say, I wonder if it's you. Oh, you're too good to be true. You're too good to be true. Because it's not too good to be true. When you find that vibrational essence and you hold it and you practice it just for a little while so that you're moving around in your world with that, the path will just be beneath your feet. It is already, you just can't see it, you see. Unconditional love. Good enough?
Thank you.
Yeah.